Welcome to the Northwestern Vermont Model Railroad Association, the Northwestern Vermont or NWV Model Railroad Club. This is a tour of our model railroad, and we're going to start today at the south end of our layout, which is a staging yard we call Mechanicville, and we're going to take this Penn Central train around the layout. So as our train heads northbound out of Mechanicville, it passes through the hole in the wall. We should call this the hole in the wall yard. Maybe hole in the wall junction. And we go through the club meeting room here and into the main layout room. And we enter through another hole in the wall, Plainfield. Plainfield is quite the village. We have a switching district here with several sidings and businesses and industries. So again, Plainfield has a nice little downtown area. We're working on improving some of the scenery here. It's a little dated. And over there we just put in a new station that came from a recent donation, and a state donation to the club. And then we come over here to North Plainfield, and we have a little bit more switching, three industries over here. I think there's team tracking there too. And around the back, pass through some countryside here. And the only set of telltales left on the layout, right there. And we come to a scenery area that we're doing some changes to right now. We're going to put a covered bridge in right there. There used to be a Ricks Highway bridge. And there's the covered bridge that's going to go in there. And through the town of Newton. We call this Newton because it's a new town. Back in our old layout, we had the town's names all set. And we needed to come up with a name for the new town that we were building, and so we called it Newton. Another scenic area that needs to be finished up here. And we come to Armstrong and Summit Crossing. Now you notice as we go along, we've got some villages and towns, and the way we operate the layout now is with car cards and waybills. And we have mainline freights that run from Mechanicville staging yard through the layout, dropping off cars in the various switching districts or towns, villages. And then the local switching crew in each village or town does the switching for the various industries. And the mainline freight train, we'll see in just a minute, will terminate its loads and empties at what we call Arlington. I better slow down coming into Arlington here, because I don't like that switch going that direction. Alright. We've got a little scenery area that another member and I have been working on during the pandemic. We put the trailer park in, and the little company houses. Scenic, that whole area, all the way up here through to the station. I'll back up a little bit and you can see the whole yard here. So this is Arlington Yard. If we were running as a through freight on an operating session, our train would terminate here and we would pick up our cars. It looks like there's a train ready to go right here with the caboose on it. So we would probably pick up that train right there and take it through to the north staging yard. Again, dropping off and picking up at the various switching districts or towns along the layout. And there's a station scene in the background. It's a station that was built by another member, former member, and I built the platforms for the station and set it in place. Oh God, probably 20 years ago. Oh boy. Somebody has it set to go into the yard here. How are my switches? Nope. Need to set my switches so that I can go on through. And hopefully not knock too many things over. Okay. So there's beautiful downtown Arlington. It needs a little bit more work. Oh, looks like we have the building under construction and one fell over. Once again, we're working on improving the scenery in the layout. As we get new and different buildings, slightly better detailed, we make improvements and changes. And this is the engine facility. In the foreground we have an engine in the prep space. And it looks like we have a caboose on the caboose track. I'm going to turn that bell off. So the main line goes through the tunnel and into a loop to gain some elevation. And there's the engine house. Again, another member, George, and I have been working on this scenery, and here the parking lot is new. The trees have been improved and added to. Again, just in the last few months over the pandemic. And then we come up to the high point of the layout, which is Glenn's Bridge. And once again, George and I have been adding trees along through here, just trying to improve the scenic details. As the train goes around. the power station. And this is a power plant. This is loosely modeled after a wood chip plant and coal plant owned by the Burlington Electric Company in Burlington, Vermont. And our train is heading down into the tunnel through a helix. I think it goes around twice. I've never counted it. Underneath the power plant here. The green part is the wood chip plant, Northern Light and Power, okay? And there's the City of Burlington Electric Light. That's the Moran energy plant, which has been closed down since the 70s, I believe. And you notice it says plant closed, no trespassing. And that's designed to be removed quickly. We set up at train shows, we set up modules at train shows and at a state fair in nearby Essex. Nearby, very nearby, because we're in Essex right now. And then the train's going to come out of the tunnel there, and this is a place we call Evergreen. There we go. Evergreen is another switching district, so if we had stopped in Arlington and picked up a train, we would set out 3 cars here and pick up 3 cars. And it looks like there might be 3 pickups. No, there aren't any pickups. There's 3 setouts. And Evergreen is another place where some of the scenery is kind of old. We built this probably in late 1990s, mid 1990s. Another member and I did most of the scenery in here. The rock work was hand carved. I'm going to go around a post here. And then we go in through a short tunnel. And we come around to another scenic area that's going to be obviously a grain mill. A couple of members are working on this area. And this is Maple Corners. Maple Corners is the oldest part of our layout. It dates to, I think, 1978. And it was constructed as a... I'm going to stop the train here. This was constructed as a time saver switching module that the club members would take around to shows in the area and set up and display model railroading and practice switching. I don't know if I can get this to come down. Come on down. There we go. So if you remember John Allen and his time saver switching, this is what it is modeled after. It's all hand laid track, and we have powered turnouts right there. There's even K magnetic uncouplers in there too to make it more interesting. This can be if you forget some of the basics of a time saver, this can be a real bear to switch, because you can't, I'll see if I can get over here and show you. You can only take 1 car and 1 engine back on that track on the back with a gondola and boxcar. Or maybe 2 cars, but one 50-footer and maybe 2 40-footers and an engine. So you can only switch basically 1 car at a time down here. Well, there's 2 40s today, so maybe you can get in there and get both of them at once. But you have to pull those 2 cars out of the way first and move them over. So Maple Corners is the oldest part of our layout, and then we come into mill. This is Mill. One of the members did 99% of that scenery in there. This locomotive is a Walther's Proto 2000 RS-27. With sound, obviously. And this is called Champlain Mill. We have dedicated covered hopper trains or grain trains that run from one end of the layout to the other. So they come from the south to feed the farmers' cooperative grain here at Champlain Terminal. Right there. Pick up those cars and go back. And we have another train. I better check my sidings, my crossings here. And this is what we call Champlain Mills. This is the northern terminus of the layout. And I'll turn around here. And the staging yard. Now that I'm here, I've got to turn my train on. I mentioned the dedicated grain trains. There's the northern one that comes down from Canadian National and serves the big grain elevator that's over in Plainfield. All right, I hope you enjoyed the trip across Northwestern Vermont. Come back again in the future. Maybe we'll have some more scenery done.